Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing one more topic in Oracle Cloud Financials related to some topic assets. So the business scenario is related to the assets where client is receiving some account types related to expenses and some account type related to assets, both of them. So he needs to understand how does asset related and expense related accounts will be created and then transferred to the asset for further process. So we need to understand some queries. Is it mandatory to enable the track as asset for every asset account? I mean to say asset or expense account. When we need to enable this track as asset? In which scenario we need to enable this track as asset flag? And one more thing is it mandatory to uh, take the account which is given as asset clearing account for the asset type of account? So these three questions we will be discussing. So before that we need to have in place all the configurations related to general ledger, payables and assets, so that we can create an invoice with the assets at the lines level, and we can transfer this asset related to the asset. So what are the steps we need to follow? Upon creating the invoice, we need to validate the invoice and must accounted and transfer to GL. After that we need to run the create mass addition job. Basically it will be a scheduled process, but however we will be running over here for this create mass addition process. After that we need to enter the mandatory fields for the asset, and then we need to change the status to queue status to post to get it posted. Once it is posted, then based on the date placed in service, the depreciation we run, the depreciation gets calculated, and then we can account, so that the asset related entries also will be transferred to the GL. Let us understand a simple scenario. I am going to enter an invoice with three invoice lines. And the account type here, one will be the account value will be an asset account, and this will be a expense account. Okay, now I am going to enable tracking asset tracking flag, track as asset, only for the expense account, this one. Okay, but I'm not going to enable for these two values. Let us see whether it will be which of the values or which of the lines will be transferred to asset, which cannot be transferred. Okay, and then we are going to provide these values as well at the line level, so that we will make sure that this is going to the particular asset book only. If you don't give these details also, it's fine, but these are not mandatory, but still we will be providing these details so that we can check directly in that, uh, and we'll enter rest of the fields based on the requirement. Now let us do a demo in the instance. So in the interest of time, I have already opened the Vision instance. I log in and I am in page called Create Invoices page, where in this page I am going to enter the lines over here. These lines, let me enter in this way. Okay. So here, coming to here, I will enter, this is $1,000 I have selected. I will enter $300 for first line. So distribution set is defaulting because of this provided at the site level. However, we will select the line which we have provided over here. Here we will be selecting the first line as 15910 is the account, and this is related to the asset clearing account. Okay, click on OK. Now click on asset tab. So here track as asset I am not going to give, but I am going to select the asset category. If you want to enter the asset book as well, just click on these columns, asset book, so that it will be coming over here. Now let us go back to the thing where we are going to vehicle standard and US Corp we are going to select. So US Corp I am going to select, and the asset category I am going to give as vehicle, and I am going to select the major and minor category as standard. Okay. In the same way, let me select the rest of them, as 300 is the one amount. Next is all about, I will be selecting $500. Let me remove the distribution account, and in this I am going to select the I'm going to select the entry 50200 50200. This is the account. I am selecting labor burden cost. I am selecting and click on OK. This 500. Let me show you in the chart of accounts. This 15910 is related to the account type as asset. Let me show you 50200 also. So account type is expense account. I am selecting the same expense account at the create invoice level. This is the account. Let me click on asset. I am selecting as track as asset. Okay. And I am going to give the US Corp as well. US Corp. And the category you can select, as of now you can select anything, but computer software I have selected. Let me take the computer. Let us take computer hardware. Doesn't matter, it's only for testing purpose. And one more account item I'm going to select as 200 to make sure that the invoice header lines and distributions equalize. Let me enter 50200. Okay, click on OK. Yeah, these are the three lines I have entered, but with respect to asset lines, I'm not going to track as asset, but I will enter US Corp as well. US Corp as well. Let me select the category at that level. But if you remember here, I have enabled track as asset only for one account, 502, second line $500. Let me validate. Say no. Okay, then next let me validate and check whether it is validated or not. If you have any tax lines, tax will be deducted, but needs revalidation. So some amount related to tax got calculated, I think so. That's why the amount is changed to 90. Okay, so let me include that amount and revalidate one more time. Yeah, it's validated. So as per the process, we need to account this invoice as well. So invoice actions, post to ledger. This is August 9th we are going to create. Let me go through the monitor process. Okay, view accounting has been completed for this invoice. Okay, so this related to US primary ledger and it is final. Now the next task is we need to save and close and run the create mass addition process. So I will be running create mass addition process. I will be selecting the date as today's date and the asset book I have provided at US car. So I will be selecting the US car and submit. It ends with 9874. Just let us check. Create mass additions is running. Report also gets generated. If you have any issues or it is not transferred to GL, then report will show you where it got stuck. So it got succeeded. Now let us go to the asset additions work area. So here when you must make sure that you are selecting the right book over here. Sometimes what happens, they might be selecting another book and they are searching, so please avoid and try to check in the same book. Now let us go and check it over here. So in this we have created the asset related to asset 1. If you see the invoice number is asset 1 only we have entered. On your observation you can see two lines come up. One is 500 related dollars related and 300 related dollars. If I go over here and select one more time the recent one, asset related, one, and clicking on tax lines, you can see the asset related 300 and 500 got transferred to asset work area. 300 and 500 dollars related, and if you see this $200, although it is related to account expense, it is not transferred because it is not enable the track as asset flag. If you enable, then only it gets transferred. So this is the basic difference, and once you got over here, you can click on you can click on edit, asset edit, and then if you see on your asset type will be expense item, you can see over here, and you need to provide the rest of the details. As depreciation, this is expense 1, you can give the same amount. This is in service date, you can change based on the requirement, and location you can select the location you need. I will be selecting the location related to this. Once you have provided all the details, Here approval type is mandatory, they have mentioned, so just mention as approval type is single. So rest of the fields I have posted. Now I need to change the queue status to post. Once it is changed to post, then click save changes for save and close. So here if you see, click on ready to post, you will find that invoice over here. Okay, it is not refreshed, that's why it is showing to although it is only one. Okay, this is the expense item. Now if I want to just click on this and then click on this, then you can got one more asset related. Then click on actions, edit. Here you can see the asset type is capitalized asset, because already we have provided the asset clearing account itself and it is related to capitalized account. If the account is related to CIP, then the asset type will be CIP account, where you need to change it to capitalization for further depreciation and to calculate everything. So search and click on OK. Okay, this is related to asset account 1. Okay, and status will be changed to post. So all are entered, then save and close. So now here when you click on this ready to post, you will find this. Basically if you want to post all of them, you need to prepare and post all, but I will do as only 2 assets, I will post them directly. It will be posted, and here one more I will be posting. Post mass additions is the program which gets triggered whenever you try to post the assets. Once it is posted, this here it is posted, you can go to the assets additions, click on task, inquiry assets. Either you can see in recent additions or in assets, you can go to advanced and then provide the invoice number. Let us go to the recent additions, as we have done recently only. These are the two assets, not this one. Let me go back. Advanced invoice number as asset 1. Click on search option. Okay, here you can find 2 assets. One is computer hardware, one more is vehicle standard, and the source lines will be same. Source lines will be asset only. So here if you want to calculate the depreciation, will start calculating once you run the calculate depreciation. Once you come over here, this is the addition, and here view accounting is not done. So what we need to do is that we need to go to the, we'll go again over here, and when we click over here, you can write on, you can click on calculate depreciation. So depreciation gets calculated. Once it is get calculated, you can run the create accounting process, so that the balances from asset clearing account will be transferred to cost account, and then the balance will be 0 in that asset cost account. Okay, so now going back to the slides, Okay. Demo is done, and what we have concluded. So we can enter an invoice by specifying the expense and asset account lines. In that, we need to make sure if it is an expense asset type or account type is expense, then we need to make sure that to enable the track as asset flag. If you don't enable, then it get not transferred to asset. This is one of the issue you will come across sometimes. And you need to validate an account, execute create mass addition program, and you need to provide the mandatory fields, and post the asset for further to calculate the depreciation and run the create accounting. Thank you for your time.